3, 4. Cooking, tell me why you gotta lie. Your server never overloaded. Eat some more humble pie. Cooking, tell me why you gotta lie. Your server never overloaded. Eat some more humble pie.
More money, I want your money. I want more money, I want your money. More money, I want your money. I want more money, I want your money. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe. And I'm admitting it, I won't take it back. Cause after this shit, I was a hoe. And I'm admitting it, I won't take it back. Cause after this shit, I was a hoe. More money, I want your money. I want more money, I want your money. More money, I want your money. I want more money.
Because we're from Britain, okay? We don't spill tea, we drink it. Bitch! Yes, it's your girl Paige back at it again, serving you some Christmas holiday spirit looks. Welcome to the first Christmas edition of Petty Paige.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Everyone within the drama community knows and understands everything that has been going on with John Kuckian, possibly one of the biggest drama channels within the beauty drama community. Now, if you don't know what's been happening with John Kuckian and his most recent launch, you have been living under a rock. So I will be bringing you back up to speed. In fact, I'm not just going to bring you back up to speed, I'm going to be bringing you back up to speed with pretty much everything that John Kuckian has done up until this point. Now I know what you're thinking.
Hey Paige, oh my god, are you really gonna go through his whole archive of things that he's fucked up on? Bitch, he's fucked up on loads of different things. This isn't new, you're not giving me no new tea.
And yeah, I guess I'm probably not going to be spilling no new tea, but I will be closing this chapter of my YouTube journey. There are several people that I can for, but with Kuckian I simply cannot. I cannot. And although my channel beginnings at the very beginning of 2017 started with my very first video on John Kuckian, we're gonna talk about it again. Okay. The world is gonna have to know that John Kuckian has a fucking prolapsed arsehole, babe. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
This is what
it's part of it.
This is what it looks like.
It's part of it.
This is what it looks like.
Accept it.
Just like this.
Live inside it.
Yeah, I have to.
I think, unlike Kuckian, who has made over 20 videos on Jeffree Star, we need to know a place where to draw the line and let that part of our lives be done. So without further ado, John Kuckian, this is your tape.
And this is something that I do think actually needs to be looked into professionally by some sort of governing agency, especially maybe the FDA, if this is the case, because it doesn't just smell worrying, it smells it's scary. Like, scary to think that it's going on your lips. Very, very scary.
Are you ready? You ready, boys and girls? Let's gather around, everyone. Come closer, come hither. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and there was a girl. Her hair was blonde, and she wore it in curls. Her name was Pink Sparkles, and she had a brand that she sold to all of her fans. But then the Scrooge Kuckian came over to say, "You're gonna pre-sale it, but not buy it, not today." So then he turned on his camera, and without further ado, we had Pink Sparkles Exposed, part 1 and part 2. It's a beautiful story.
Growth and cult following by Kuckian.
Yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the whole Pink Sparkles escapade. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I personally was introduced to John Kuckian through the Pink Sparkles debacle. The entirety on that story basically was Pink Sparkles was mismanaged by a company. This company basically said that she should release her own brand, of makeup. She had no idea about makeup. She didn't even understand what went into the whole thing. And when she was pre-selling her items, there was this whole scammy thing going on with that company. Anyway, the real tea ended up being that Pink Sparkles basically took the rap for so many other people's misjudgments at that period of time. However, in 2016, this actually was one of the biggest stories out of the beauty community that year. But the new drama channel, John Kuckian, decided that he was going to have a one-on-one conversation with Pink Sparkles. And that's how we ended up having the Pink Sparkles part 1 and part 2. Now, the reason that this is a very important period within John Kuckian's career is because a lot of the things that he accused Pink Sparkles Sparkles is doing actually has come to fruition within his own brand launch.
So the most recent event was a palette launch that she did, which completely went tits up. And we're going to use that as like an entry point into the whole situation.
Server overload, Kuckian. Server overload. What on earth is happening? What? And this is what you posted today?
20 hours ago. Beefing up the cooking server to handle the load.
That, my friend, is cray-cray.
Just wait for a delay in launch, that's all I'm saying.
There is speculation that John Kuckian did not believe in his own brand, as he said to her. And the reason that the whole website overload crash situation happened was because essentially he wanted to cover his costs and not put any finances into it himself personally, or not too much, shall we say. Allegedly, my conspiracy.
What I mean by this is that the rumour is, allegedly, my conspiracy, that John Kuckian actually only ordered a small quantity of his lip palettes. I'm not talking about the eyeshadow palettes, I'm talking about the liquid lipsticks that he had. The reason, allegedly, the word is on the street, is because he wanted to send these out to the relevant people who were in his affiliate list, etc., etc. But we, the consumers, were going to be buying it on pre-sale so that he could order the quantity needed rather than having a certain amount of stock that he was unable to fulfill. I genuinely believe that he most likely just didn't have the money to produce the quantity that he wanted and needed for a launch. Hence why I think the server overload thing happened, and he basically was like, well, that didn't work, let me just scramble together and put it all out. That's my conspiracy, my theory, allegedly. But hey, I am not by any means an expert, so why don't we hear it from the horse's mouth?
If you are doing a pre-order and you are a small channel working with a small brand, it's not because you want to make sure people can get their hands on it. It's because you need the money to be able to afford to pay the factory to make all the units. Because if you don't sell the number that you need, because every factory has like a minimum order quantity, then you're just not going to get anywhere. But no, like the reason it didn't work was because you didn't meet the minimum order quantity and the factory shut you down. You didn't have a say.
Let me tell you that this individual dragged Pink Sparkles for that entire situation. I mean it, actually dragged her. I basically made out to all of his fans that she didn't know what she was doing, she was very dumb and less than smart. And shortly after that, there were some private messages that were released that showed John Kuckian being not so nice to her. So that kind of made him look like a shady person, but the internet was still rocking with him.
Deception and lies by Kuckian.
Anyway, so let's get into his most recent launch. This is the part of the video that everybody's interested in anyway. Now, if you guys have not seen my most recent video on that, you will be able to find that in this box over here. But basically what happened was my partner, who works within the IT industry, took a look into his coding and took a look into the layout of his website and spoke to me and the stat fan and basically told us how we can double check ourselves as to whether his server is overloaded or whether he's trying to con us. So upon doing all the tests that we could possibly do, we posted this on the internet, as this was possibly one of the most anticipated launches of 2018 since the Kim Kardashian West collection and the Jeffree Star holiday collection, you know?
Basically, the website is still responsive.
So that's his web address there.
Yeah.
You can ping it from multiple locations.
Yeah.
We run a ping test. That's California, USA. It's still responding. No losses. Minimum response time is 1 millisecond. It's still up. It's still running. So there's no server overload at all.
Oh. Oh shit! Oh my god!
And nobody knew what was going on. Nobody had any answers. And I thought, well, why not? Cha-ching on that AdSense though, you know what I mean? Anyway, after this video got uploaded, I received a barrage of messages from John Kuckian, absolutely fuming with me that I would ever consider making a video on John Kuckian. I mean, it's not like I've made any other John Kuckian videos, is it? Anywho, I spoke to him and I dropped in this video, but I had a funny feeling that he was going to make out like I never reached out to him at any point. So I decided that I was going to film me sending that message to him. Yeah, don't come at me, okay? We in the hood. Red Riding Hood, bitch.
Listen, John, if you have an issue, then we can have a conversation, we can talk about it. You can ring me, I'm at home all day this evening. You can ring me, we can have a conversation, I can ask you questions or whatever, that's perfectly fine. But you can't just be in my inbox getting upset with me, you know, because I'm a drama channel. I have to make videos. You can't expect to do like a 3-part series into Cat's Pajamas or a 3-part series into Pink Sparkles, which all, by the way, were very, very fucking good videos. You can't expect to make videos like that and then not expect the scrutiny back onto you. It kind of comes with the territory of what we do, you know? So, feel free to speak to me. And feel free to correct me, and feel free to have a conversation with me and show me evidence. That's completely fine. I'm down for that, whatever, you know. Listen, John, if you have an issue, cool.
But that didn't stop Cookie. No. He decided that he was going to make a video, and yours truly, probably not all full glam, but yours truly was featured in a John Kuckian video. You cannot tell me nothing. I am a celebrity, bitch.
Kitchen cosmetics. Kuckian.
Anyway, he used the oldest trick in the YouTube drama book, which is to put silly music to what I was saying. I mean, that's YouTube Drama School 101, along with saying the same thing and slowing it down. Anyway, nonetheless, he decides to debunk me, but once again, I feel as if that John Kuckian has actually missed the mark. It's not me that he had to prove wrong. I am nobody. Listen, I do not know nothing about makeup. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, I know that this is from this. Listen, I've never bought a Morphe brush in my entire life. The only thing that I spend money on is Urban Decay and Anastasia Beverly Hills. Other than that, I do not spend a lot of money on makeup at all. I am high street for your life street over here. Okay, yes, God. So when it comes to me talking about his cosmetics launch, it's actually not me that he needs to debunk. It's not me who is going to be his main demographic. I am not going to be his consumer. The people he really needs to be speaking to is the people who are going to be purchasing his items. Now, roll with me here for one moment. There are two different people who are going to be buying Kuckian cosmetics. Makeup fanatics who do not care where the cosmetics come from, but they are going to be buying the cosmetics. Cookie fam who have been watching the development of this cosmetics for a long time and just want to support their boy. And this is probably the main one of his demographics. But all of the people out there who want to be trialing and testing Kuckian cosmetics to see where it comes from, where it derives from, doing swatch tests and comparing it to other high street brands, and basically saying whatever they want to say on the internet. I would go as far as to say, and this is just from what I can see over my social media, that approximately 70% of the earnings made from this launch is going to be out of the pockets of people who want to try these products as a way of figuring out the legitimacy of where this product has come from. That in effect really means that John Kuckian's main demographic is going to be people who don't like him. And like when you think about it like that, that's so sad.
Tough titties. Kuckian.
So when you look at the disclaimer and the legal notices that have been put on his Kuckian website, you will find that the return policy is absolutely shocking, and also that if you're not impressed with the product, then tough titties. That there is legitimately in place for you guys, for the people who are going to be trying his cosmetics and who may be unhappy with it because y'all are some haters, allegedly. So then basically after that video he decided that he was going to speak to me. I was on a stream proper gassed, not even knowing that Kuckian was there. Basically like, yes bitch, I made it into a Kuckian video. You may have seen Jeffree Star in a Kuckian video. You may have seen Here for the Tea in a Kuckian video. You may have seen Danny Suitcase in a Kuckian video. You may have even seen Sanders Kennedy in a Kuckian video, video, bitch, I was gassed. I was gassed. Why are you giving little old me with 50-ass subscribers out here some promotion to your 300,000 subscribers? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Do you not know how these Americans really love the British accent? Why are you playing these games? That's a dicey game to play, bruv. A dicey game to play. Anyway, and John Kuckian decided that he was going to join in the conversation. Apparently, a lot of people said he was on the YouTube side of my YouNow stream and was leaving comments there. However, I've got no receipts. So, he texted me. And when he texted me, it all went downhill from there. Now, I will leave a link to the full stream in the description box down below so that you guys can see everything that happened. But I assure you, my comment section was absolutely crazy. There was like 300 and odd of you on YouNow and another 300 and odd of you on my YouTube. It was absolutely nuts. But I really struggled, and I'll be honest, I really struggled. I feel as if I was caught a little bit off guard. Just so you guys know, I'm not no Peter Mon, I am not no Sanders Kennedy. I cannot just sit and talk and not have like brain fog in any kind of way. That's just not how I roll. I am a planner. I will write my scripts out. I will make sure I know what I'm about to say when I am making my videos. This right here is how I function. So if I've not written out what it is that I'm gonna say before I say it, or the questions that I have before I ask the person the question, I am just ill prepared. And so many people were leaving me questions, but it was going so fast. It was so hard to keep up with. So in respects to that, I can only simply apologize for not doing you guys justice. But the good thing about it is because he spoke so much, because he has word vomit and doesn't know when to stop, because he spoke so much, that video has actually circulated onto various different places on the internet. So many people are talking about that stream where he basically talked himself around and around in circles, and people were able to say, well, you said this is a statement, and debunk that shit. And that is what the internet is here for, my friends. Anyway, that stream happened, and that for me was the poignant moment. That for me was the moment that I realized that I am not dealing with a empathetic human. I am not dealing with a human who can recognize fault, recognize wrongs. I am not dealing with a human who feels in the same way that other people feel. I'm dealing with somebody who is emotionally manipulated, who is practically a politician with his words, going round and round and round and round and dancing around the real truth and the real answers. Somebody who pretends to be extremely knowledgeable in a field that he knows nothing about. And that is actually from somebody who has no comprehension of that field, but has basic knowledge and knows that some of the practices that you do, such as dabbing makeup with your finger, is not how we do things, hun. And also, for that matter, if your brush is specifically made for these formulas, why don't you just use the brush? Like, why are you using your finger? It makes no sense. It's probably because the brush is a shit. Just saying.
Exfoliate is a real word by Kuckian.
Now, in terms of the issues that I've had in the past with John Kuckian and his code of conduct, the one thing that I really struggle with is not even the hypocrisy of him saying the word exfoliate as if it's a real word when we all know it's not. Not even the hypocrisy of dragging Laura Lee for the layout of her website after her makeup launch when your makeup launch was not perfection, or even slightly better than hers because it wasn't. Not even the hypocrisy of you dragging Laura Lee for not listing her ingredients correctly when you did possibly worse by not even listing your ingredients, but then having a really shocking returns policy and a legal agreement that basically says that if you have any issues with it, then that's your problem. But then expecting people who may have various different skin conditions to buy into it without you formally putting it on your website. But what do I know? I'm not a business person. Not even the hypocrisy of you having a problem with other people speaking about your brand and saying things about your brand and your makeup launches when you have built an entire career doing so. Not even the hypocrisy of that. My main issue with John Kuckian and John Kuckian's website for me is the money. This is the same John Kuckian that made ringtones of somebody having an emotional breakdown at that point allegedly and decided to use it for profit, who didn't state that it was for profit at the time and then changed his mind and said that it was going to be for charity, and the charity was WaterAid. Literally, the beginnings of that story started off as he said that he was making these ringtones, and then when people were like,
Hey, that's a bit cruel, you know, that's a bit mean.
it's like, no, the ringtones are for charity.
You stipulate what charity that's from, you know, that's a bit weird. You should be really just telling people what the charity is.
And he was like, no, it's for charity, it's for water aid.
How much did you raise for charity?
And drew a massive big blank that essentially resulted in him donating £180 approximately to water aid. And to this day, not a single one of us have seen a receipt of how much he was able to raise from the ringtones to this very day. This is the same John Kuckian that did a makeup launch and decided to sell the tickets for £325 at its very maximum and £15 at its smallest. Then turned around and left a message down here that I believe that said that he sold around 100 of these tickets. Now, my personal theory for the whole launch situation is that he was trying to generate money from you guys once again in pre-sales, because he won't put his money into anything, not even a new shirt. And that the money that he was going to be generating from the sale of these tickets was going to be what secured the venue.
Dinner at... Oh, sorry, it's cancelled by Kuckian.
Now, if you don't already know, I think I've said this before on my channel, but I am actually from Birmingham, and I used to work in the nightclub scene in that area, so I'm very familiar with some of the people who work there. In fact, one of my good Judies works at Pryzm. And funnily enough, when looking for my own wedding, if you don't know, I'm getting married in Birmingham next year, but in fact, when looking for a wedding venue, one of the first places that I came across when looking for a place to host my own guests was Pryzm nightclub in Birmingham. So I do believe that the minimum package that this company actually hosts is £2,400, and that's just for the venue, nothing else, no canapes or whatever the hell it is that he was trying to sell to you two.
It is a very, very exclusive red carpet bougie event. There is photographers, food for everyone, professional canapes served by waiters.
So I said, let's be fair, absolutely nobody's going to be purchasing a ticket for £325. It's not going to happen, never going to happen, it's never going to happen.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
And I thought, and let's be fair, I know that his main demographic of people is younger people. However, I imagine it's probably going to be my age group, the 18 plus age group, who are going to be buying tickets. So let's say that he sold 100 of the adult tickets for his makeup launch at £35. That's still £3,500. But we've got intel to say that there is actually no contract.
Funny, they... Again, just in case didn't catch it the first, second, or third time. Yeah, I don't see any mention of harassment or anything like that.
And not only do we have written confirmation from Pryzm the nightclub to Margot Indigo of that said very important detail, we also have vocal confirmation. Roll it.
Speaking, how can I help?
Hello, is this Pryzm?
Pardon?
Is this Pryzm in Birmingham?
Yes, it is.
Hey, I just wanted to inquire about an event that you have going on the 25th of September.
Yeah?
Not September, sorry, November.
November?
Yeah.
The Saturday night?
Yeah, is that for the Kuckian Cosmetics launch?
He cancelled with us.
Oh, right, he cancelled?
Yeah, he cancelled his event with us.
Oh, right, is there a reason why? Is there a reason why? Because the event's no longer on Eventbrite or anything anymore.
Have you bought a ticket?
Yeah.
How much have you paid for your ticket?
It's £35.
I think you need to contact him because he's the one that's cancelled with us. So he's the one that needs to reimburse you for your ticket.
Oh, right, okay.
Did you not put a post up explaining that he cancelled with us, like he didn't want to do it at our venue anymore?
Yeah, he said that there was a few problems at the venue, but I didn't know who I'm supposed to really speak
It's
to.
not our venue that had the problems, it was him. He just decided he didn't want to do it at our venue.
Right, okay.
Then even with the launch and his mismanagement of people's money in that situation, this makeup launch to me is just another way that John Kuckian can use and abuse his influence for his own gains.
Dirty Money by Kuckian.
But more than that, I have a problem with somebody who has a history of not doing the correct things around charities saying that he has a foundation. Parts of the website you will see, it says that a portion of the proceeds will be going to the Kuckian Foundation. It's really hard to pinpoint what the Kuckian Foundation is. And something that he said in a stream to me just really stuck out when he said that it wasn't anything to do with taxes. I never said that, and that was so weird for you to say.
And it's not for a tax break or anything like that. I actually don't even have a clue how that works.
Now, I'm very much aware that companies and small business can write off charity donations as a tax write-off. So it doesn't seem bizarre to me that he is now saying that he's got a foundation. I'm just going to throw the information out there, make of it what you will. But I find it very weird that he now has a foundation for possible tax write-offs. Allegedly, my conspiracy. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. But more than that, the Kuckian Foundation, he has already explained to me in that stream also, is not an established company. Therefore, if it's not an established organisation, essentially, why are you talking about it and murkying the waters? My personal conspiracy, allegedly, thoughts are, he needs to establish this now so that the aspect of using it as tax write-offs can still be seen from way back when. But I don't know, I think that's something that must possibly overlook that people need to take a look into. I'm not an investigative journalist, but I'm sure that you guys know a thing or two that I don't. Anyway, because of the mismanagement of other people's finances that I've seen from John Kuckian, for me, I just can't fathom why anybody would want to put into his brand. Not for nothing, I just simply believe that the only people who will be financing and putting money into this brand is super duper stans, makeup fanatics who really don't care where the hell their makeup comes from, and people who really just want to see him fall. With how shockingly terrible this launch has gone, I honestly think that he has absolutely no platform now to speak on other people's makeup launches, makeup mishaps, and things that they've said on the internet and how rude and horrible and hateful they've been, because everything that he's done, everything that he has exhibited over the past couple of weeks has been more than shocking.
I do think you've got so much bullshit at the moment, you really need to deal with it. And I don't mean like, if I did this, I'm sorry. If I lied to you, I'm sorry. I mean like genuinely apologise for being a dick, because you have been a dick in a lot of different ways to a lot of different people.
Threats and defamation by Kuckian.
From speaking about Peter Mon and his personal experiences and threatening him to release sext messages, to threatening lawsuits on Margot Indigo.
I've had to speak to a lawyer, this is prior to Kuckian having a law firm associated to it. I've had to speak to a lawyer to assess for myself if there's anything that I should do.
And allegedly blocking any subscriber who has asked him about his ingredients list.
When my palette comes out, which I've already told you about, in like 2 or 3 years, the formula is nowhere near finished, blah 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 blah. I would have to keep everyone up to date every step of the way. Like, could you imagine? You give someone your money and you're like, hi, I want to buy this, and then they take the money and then they just turn their back and they're like, and you're there like, hi, excuse me, where's my palette? And they're just like, what?
To be honest, he's made himself look to be the mug. I honestly, genuinely do not think that this is going to be driving sales in the slightest. The moment that January comes along and it's a brand new year, people will have their cosmetics, people will have their pre-order cosmetics, and they will be using it, swatching it, and critiquing it, and there is absolutely nothing that you can do or say to change that. I have seen possibly more people come out and speak against John Kuckian more than I've seen any person who has came out and spoke against any other YouTuber. I'm even including Jeffree Star in this.
If anything, I really do feel sorry for her, because she's had to disable her comments because 99% of her comments were nasty. It was just people like, you've ripped us off, you've lied to us, why have you done this? Like, her subscriber base is really pissed. I've never seen so much hate on someone's Twitter. Like, anytime she posts a tweet, I click on it and wow, every single person is like, scammy Sammy, scammy Sammy.
From the moment that you can make somebody who has had such a nasty, big, public indiscretion like Jeffree Star come across as an absolute saint in comparison to you, means that you're getting it wrong. And something that one of the people who actually had spoken out against you, who I highly recommend everybody go and check out her video in the description box down below, she said that when you are the common denominator, in fact, you know what, let her speak, roll it.
He's put himself in this predicament. He's burned almost every bridge that he's had. He says that, oh, no one's here for me, no one's gonna support me. But really, in all reality, he's done it to himself. John is trying to play it off that everyone else is the problem and everyone else is manipulative, but we all know who the problem is. If one person constantly has all this stuff swirling and circulating around him, there's a slight possibility that that one person is causing it all themselves. And what do they call it? Like a common denominator? Like, if you're the only constant in a situation of variables and you keep having the same outcome after time, maybe you need to check into what you're doing and maybe you need to check up on yourself.
And I honestly couldn't say it better myself. This for me is completely it. Make sure that you check out everybody that I've listed down below and all of the references and all that malarkey. Make sure you check all of them out. Also, make sure that you keep your eyes out on Margot Indigo's channel as well as Martin Lewis's channel, as they're both dropping videos on John Kuckian and their thoughts on this entire situation. But for me, I think this is a closing of the hypothetical book. I don't think I'm going to be talking about John Kuckian for a very long time. Reason for that being is I saw something in that stream that I've never seen before, which was slightly scary when somebody begins to believe their own crap. Like, take for instance the whole oxfoliate situation. There's absolutely no need to lie, and you could go, oops, spelling mistake, my bad, sorry guys. But instead of just saying oops, you decided that you made a word. I can't with somebody like that. That's actually on a new level of scary for me. So I'm not going to be touching him anymore with a barge pole. So legitimately, unless John Kuckian comes out and apologizes for all of the shenanigans, or unless John Kuckian ends up getting in prison for fraud, I will not be speaking about John Kuckian again. Gone with the wind, do not care.
And I don't think they should just think like, oh, I'm just going to try and sell them some shit and maybe not give them the money back if it falls through and maybe just lie to them about the minimum order quantity. I think it's just BS. It's just mad. It's really mad.
Anyway, tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think that John Kuckian and this whole cooking cosmetics leads him into a place where he cannot speak on any other YouTuber or beauty influencer who has had a launch or is doing something in the cosmetics world, because essentially he's one to talk?
You can't rip people off and lie to people like 100 times about 100 different things and then play the victim card. Yes, the YouTube comments can be horrible sometimes, but the reason you're also so horrible is because you keep lying to people. People that support you and buy your stuff, you're lying to them and not giving them updates.
Or do you think that it's an open book and everybody has the right to critique everybody? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you like it, if you don't, I don't give a shit anyway. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell with that tick so that you guys can get a new notification every single time that Paige posts new content. I personally think that he is a whole nother level of something that I want nothing to do with. But that's just my humble Christmassy opinion, because I'm just petty. Bet you wouldn't put this beat face in your video, would you, bitch? Bitch!
Too much money in the bank. I ain't tryna play no games. Fuck, I hate to go sack. Copy on my hustle all day, little bitch. Stay in your place, motherfucker, I'm paid. Too much money in the bank. I ain't tryna play no games. Fuck, I hate to go sack. Copy on my hustle all day, little bitch. Stay in your place, motherfucker, I'm paid.
Now take the gold down tree.